Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's your boy Miguel, and this is Too Funny, Too Serious. And today we coming back with a nice little episode for you guys of, obviously, you guys should be knowing about this Nickelodeon documentary. So we're going to be covering that. And you already know I got my boy Blair. You already know what's the dealio, Maflilio. Blair Drew Story, you already know. Hit him up down in the description. His Facebook will be down there. Hit him up. He's got all sizes. Not even hats. He got hoodies. He's got shirts, pants, socks, whatever you need, drawers, anything. All right. So hit him up down in the description. Hit him up on Facebook, and my boy will get you connected. All right. So let's get this rolling. So, what's your opinion based on this whole? Give a brief summary about this whole Nickelodeon thing that's going on.
Well, the first thing I want to say was, first thing I'm gonna say is I knew it. It's just everything that's done in the dark will eventually come to light. You know what I'm saying? And this stuff, the simple fact that it's been happening for decades, right, and they just now coming out about it. I'm not the least surprised. It's just the interesting part about it is that they actually having the balls to come out and confess it and finally say something.
You say he didn't come out.
That he has the balls to come out and say.
Oh yeah, and admit that he was wrong.
But what I did know is that I never knew it was Drake. Like that one blew my mind. Like I didn't see that coming.
I remember a couple years back I think they even mentioned in like 2017 they were talking about Dan having a foot fetish. And I remember they were kind of going over, like, you know, how they always used to have feet involved in the shows type shit. Mm-hmm. But the crazy part about it, man, I think it was just how people really supported the guy that really raped Drake. And how people kind of went about it, and how the judge received 41 letters from people saying that he shouldn't go to prison and that he should just be on probation and that he should just pretty much... Yeah, I mean, even famous actors that I think that, you know, were involved in that whole type of shit too were kind of supporting him on that.
That's where it gets tricky because, you know, when you're a very popular person, everybody favors you.
Right.
You may even have a certain amount of money. You mingle with a lot of people. You know a lot of people. That gives people the impression off rip that, no, not this guy. It can't be him. He's too much of a good guy. He's too much of a nice guy. And those be the people you never know that be that guy.
On that weird shit.
The whole time I was watching the documentary, almost every photo they showed of this guy, he was smiling. It looked like he does look innocent.
Right.
But those be the main ones. And yeah, it blew my mind. And it was actually a couple of people, when it was proven that he was doing that, they came out and apologized and was like, yeah, I was wrong about this guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing that blinds people when you got the fame, the riches, the popularity. It's easy for them to be like, no, he didn't do that.
Right.
No, he didn't. And, you know, that goes for a lot of celebrities. I have speculations now. But we're not going to get into that. That's another video. A lot of people, these big-time celebrities, oh, it can't be them because he's this guy.
Right.
It can't be.
A lot of people were saying that even about Dan because, you know, obviously everybody that watched the documentary, like they kept repeating, like, oh, he was a nice guy. He was, like, funny, but he was making these jokes. But the jokes that – and then now that actually what's funny is – you know, when they were showing the jokes on the shows, I didn't even get those jokes when I was a kid. Obviously, that's the point. But we thought it was just funny because, you know, people were getting squirted on with shit, and we didn't know what the costumes were made of. They
cover it up with slime.
It's
just slime.
And the funny part about it that he mentioned it and said that, you know, if the jokes were too much, why did they approve it to go, you know, on TV? But
because the audience is kids, they're not gonna get it.
Right. But I mean, it's tough, but we can kind of go episode by episode. So Amanda Bynes, I guess I'll just fast forward it to when, you know, she was kind of not working for Nickelodeon, but she had a burner Twitter account back in those times, and she was saying by, you know, that it was by Ashley Banks, but it was actually Amanda Bynes, and, you know, she was telling everybody that she was impregnated by her boss by 13, and imagine being, you know, pregnant at 13 and having to get an abortion, you know. And I think everything that she went through is because of her parents. You know, a dad shouldn't allow her 13-year-old daughter to be playing video games with her boss or, you know, producer guy in their room by herself. I mean, that I think just going back to Drake as well, I mean, his mom had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. What I would say off that is Drake said it himself. He said, first of all, they're young. We got to keep remembering that they're young. So imagine what these dudes is in their ear saying.
Right.
Hey, if you don't do this, you'll never work in this business again. Hollywood has a lot to offer. Don't you
Right.
want to make it big? You want to be big, right? Your dreams right in front of you. They showing you these checks. They showing you you can be this, you can be that. Don't you want people screaming your name? So you're gonna have to do a little dirt. You know what I'm saying?
To get where you want to get.
To where you want to get. Not to mention they're young. It's so easy to influence them.
Yeah.
Drake admitted it. He said, even though that was happening to him, he kept saying to himself, "I don't like this, but I want to keep. I want to be a star. I've been
Right.
dreaming about this forever,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to all just go to waste.
Right.
But it wasn't what I expected. But let me just suck it up. No pun intended. But let me just suck it up, and just deal with it because I want to be a star. I don't want to let my parents down, and my mom's proud of me, my friends. Right. I want to be a star, so I just gotta deal with it, and that is the sad part, especially when the outside looking in. Everybody want to be famous. Everybody who wouldn't want to be famous. Who wouldn't want to, be popular and have all the money and riches and stuff like that. But until you get in front of that and you realize I got to get my hands dirty, damn, then that's where the choice comes in. Do I do some dirt behind the scene because I want it that bad and sacrifice my dignity?
There were even kids, there was an episode, I forgot his name, but it was a black guy. What was his name?
He was from the All That show.
Yeah, it was all that show, and he was like selling Girl Scout cookies, and they were making him seem like he was selling dope, and the mom was like going all out about it, and she was saying that Dan was racist, and Dan was this, and all that other type of stuff.
And
but
then the fetus,
Yeah.
the youngest rapper, and it was a fetus, and they put him, the black guy, as the rapper.
Yeah.
So it was like,
But I guess like going off that too as well, like this whole Victorious movie show, I mean not movie show, TV show as well. When you were going on and saying about you got to do something to get here type stuff. So, her being a superstar of that show, she didn't think that she was gonna ever have to, sleep with her boss, obviously, but he never mentioned it to her because, he had other actresses kids, keeping them busy at the moment. So he never mentioned it to her. But once he did ever mention it to her, and she, turned him down because I think she was of age, But I mean, even if she was, I mean, dude, you could probably still be her dad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's weird as fuck. But yeah, once she turned him down, she pretty much kind of lost a lot of showings throughout the whole last 2 seasons of Victorious, and then Jane and Ariana Grande took over the show, and then once Ariana Grande took over the show, he allegedly slept with Ariana Grande, and she started to be the superstar in the show, and then they came out with Sam and Cat.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and then look where Ariana Grande at right now.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying.
I have a question. I'm his sister in the background. I'm gonna ask him questions and put my input in it. So, to give credit where it's due, do y'all give Dan some props at least for making all these iconic shows? Like, do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think he's a great producer. I think he's a great producer, and I think he had obviously had amazing potential to come out with any kid show. But I mean, just there was just some iffy shit in the videos. Like there was just shit that you couldn't put in the shows that
With Blair, and he was being mean, being on his toes, being rude. Is it okay to do that? Like obviously you had a job, you still got to get the job done. Is it right for him to still be mean to these?
I don't think you got to be mean, but
drunk with power.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because he knew, like I said, the women, the staff, they were admitting it. They were just like, we had to play along with it because we didn't want to get fired. They dreamed of these jobs. They worked so hard to finally get these jobs and get where they at. Oh, he's being mean to me? Okay, let me just suck that up and just deal with it because I don't want to get fired, which he was threatening people too. Like, I'll fire you.
Women.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all got to put all that into aspect. And back to what you said about, do we think he's the GOAT for that? 100%. But, the flip side about it is that's how they get you.
Right.
Because this person is so talented, he can't do wrong. That's the thing. Like, how much of a conscience or common sense people gonna have. Just because he's so talented or he can do this, he can do that, he does nothing wrong. R. Kelly. This dude arguably is one of the best R&B singers, R&B songwriters. He's the best. He's extremely talented, but we got people try to gloss over what he did. It's not right. It's not right. So it's like when people drunk with power like that, they feel like they can do the most outlandish stuff because, hey, I'm this person. I have a lot of weight to my name. And the sad part about it is most people are just going to be on that person's side because they're so talented and what their accolades are. And that's what I'm saying. It's got to be somebody that comes out and be like, this ain't right. I don't care who this person is. Like this ain't right. And that's where the tricky part is. That's what I'm saying. That's why Hollywood is so evil and with all this stuff going on, because all these talented people, they get to get away with anything. They get to get away with saying anything, doing anything, because everybody looks at them like they gods and stuff. So that's the problem.
I would say even Jeanette from iCarly, she even wrote a book about, all the shit that she went through and that whole Nickelodeon phase as well. And there's for everybody that's watching, if you haven't seen it, I would advise you go watch it. A lot of people say that it does ruin their childhood just because, you grow up watching all these shows, you never expect anything like this to be going on. But yeah, that whole iCarly show as well was crazy as well.
Yeah, prime example. I don't mean to cut you off, but prime example is I noticed one girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but she was such a big fan of this one R&B artist. She was such a big fan of him because he's so good looking and so, attractive. He had allegations come out about women, multiple women saying that, hey, he's sexually assaulting me. He's taking advantage of me. And I asked her, I was like, so how you feel about that? She was like, but it's him. I don't care. He can violate me. And I'm like, that's sad, bro. Like, that's terrible. Because of these people, you don't mind you giving him a pass for that wrongdoing that he doing.
Right.
And I'm like, that's terrible. Like, another quick story. I used to have a girlfriend that was obsessed with Drake. Super obsessed with Drake. You already know he's a powerhouse of a superstar. She was so obsessed with him. I was giving her these crazy scenarios. I was just messing with her. But at the same time, I knew she was low-key serious. I'm like, so if Drake was a pedophile and all this stuff, you'll let him crap in your mouth? I was just saying the most heinous shit, and she was just like, yop. And I'm like, that's terrible,
fuck
bro.
no.
That's terrible.
So I do have a question going off the Nickelodeon documentary. So why is it that these kids waited so long to say something? And it's just like, why couldn't they say something at that moment? Just like
because they're living the dream. I mean, what kid would? I mean, first of all, they're 9 to 13, 9 to 14, 9 to 16, whatever.
Younger.
Yeah, younger than that. I mean, you're making TV shows. You don't really know what's bad or what's good or what's bad. You know what I'm saying? You may think that Dan is just really cool with you and he just wants you to do better, or you may think that Dan is just an asshole. But he's just your boss, and you're just doing all these TV shows that are funny. And you don't know none of the concept of the jokes. And I guess I can go based upon the concept of the jokes. A lot of people have been saying, what about the adults that were in that whole production, that whole show type shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about Debo from what's his name? What's his name from Dude with the Donuts from iCarly? Because he interviewed Dan. And Dan admitted it.
He was sorry for everything.
Yeah, but that's bullshit because you know what the hell you was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and say if the jokes were bad, why they let it all go through, Nah, you know exactly what the jokes were behind because your ass, that turns you on as a man, which is weird.
Why did he get any time in jail? Damn.
Well,
Well, he's banned from Nickelodeon now. He can't do no more Nickelodeon.
when you got that much power and money, you can get away with anything. That's why I feel like dude only served 16.
But he got 16 months. He did something.
And he had to. I mean,
he was supposed to get way more than that.
Yeah.
But it's the power, the money.
If he was black, would he got more?
But he not. I mean, maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't. It depends. Like we can't even low key say that if he was black he would have got more. Look at P. Diddy. How many allegations coming out with this dude?
right.
But look at how much money he got.
And he's got a lot of power.
Picture how many
too.
cases he probably beat or dodged because how powerful he is. Race ain't even gonna have nothing to do with that. If you got power and money, you can slip out of anything.
I'm gonna tell y'all the most crazy. If y'all, like I said, if y'all didn't watch it, go watch it. And if you did watch it, I think this is the most craziest part of this whole documentary. Jason Michael Handy is the creepiest dude I've ever seen and the creepiest dude I've ever heard, or whatever the fuck case may be. And I'm gonna just give you a brief little story behind the little Nickelodeon thing. So apparently, Brandy was a little girl that worked at Nickelodeon. She had a very inappropriate interaction with Handy via email. He sent her a picture of him being naked, masturbating, and while he sent that picture, he said he just wanted to let her know that he was thinking of her. Also, he started to interact with the 14-year-old girl from Michigan with promises of Hollywood career, and he did inappropriate things to her while he was in Michigan, which led to Michigan Police Department contacting LAPD, who searched his home and found over 10,000 photos of children, 1,700 child sexual abuse material, photos, 7 videos, and Ziploc bags of tokens. And if you don't know what token is, he had a Ziploc bag of a girl's underpants, which is fucking, I don't even want to say anything. And they also found his diary, which had entries such as, "I am a pedophile full blown. I really have been giving into my desire for little girls these few weeks, and I even struggle on a day-to-day basis of how I can find a victim to rape if I have to."
That's called sickness. He is sick and he needs help.
That is just...
Do you think he was going through childhood trauma and that's why he's like that?
It is.
He was in his 20s.
He was 20?
He was in his 20s, yeah. He was like an assistant. He was like a...
I don't know what that man's story is, but that stuff does have a ripple effect. You know, usually that comes from something that happened to you.
I mean, we can go based off Drake. Drake was sexting a minor, and he had domestic. I think he had domestic violence, but he did come out and apologize about it.
Right.
He moved to Mexico for a while. He came out with the Rock album, which was, I don't know if it was good or not because I don't listen to that, but
the thing was bouncing off another the last podcast we talked about with conspiracy theories. I was telling y'all in that video that when something happened to you, especially for a long time in the industry, even if you didn't, like, say if this guy he was obviously never a child molester. Mm-hmm. He never was gay. But if that happens to you, something switches in your brain. And that's what I was telling y'all about the rappers and the R&B singers. If that same stuff is happening to them, then y'all find out that they gay or they like men too.
right.
That stuff's, you see what happened to Drake? I know.
No, he's not gay.
Well, we ain't even talking about gay. I'm saying the whole child molester thing, what it drove him to do.
Yeah, to do the same thing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff switches off in your mind. So that's why I be saying, like, y'all don't know what these rappers and these industry people are like, bro, when that's happening to them and y'all realizing, oh, they like men too, it's because of that stuff happening. Yeah. It's a ripple. It ripples down. And like these child molesters we talking about now, we don't know what happened to them when they was kids. Right. At least they don't have the story for that. So it's like it ripples. You know what I'm saying? That's the
continues
the
to grow
part. Yeah, it's like it's a chain reaction, bro. It's just terrible stuff like that, and bouncing off the whole, we want you to do this for fame, or you got to do this if you want to make it big. You got to do this. You want to be bigger, right? That's why when one hit wonders. You know all the one hit wonders where are some people we see people be like, what happened to dude? He made that one song and he was gone. Or he ain't make it no more. Or what happened to dude? And some people be making fun of them people. Yeah. That nigga, he broke now. He broke. No, I don't feel like you should make fun of them. Because I believe those are people that got offered that stuff and they was like, no.
Right.
That's what I believe. Like, that's why I don't even laugh at them no more and be like, oh, they broke. They made that one hit and they was gone. No, I think that them people came up to them and was like, how big you want to be?
Right.
Well, you got to do this. And they were smart enough to be like, nope.
There's a lot. I mean, I think I told you this off camera about how about the elites were upset about Ice Cube not wanting to be a part of the whole club and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then they said they get real pissed about it, and then they try to destroy you because you don't want to be a part of their club. So
I think they only get mad because they know you're gonna tell.
Yeah. Eventually.
They eventually know you gonna tell because you ain't got no soul ties to them. You ain't signed no contract. You ain't signed your name in blood. So you can say whatever you want, do whatever you want, and that's what they get mad about. And that's why some people be getting killed or coming up missing and all that stuff.
I guess let's touch more based on the Drake situation. So his dad was his manager.
Since he was
Yeah, very young. He started very young as an actor in the industry. He even worked with Tom Cruise. Eventually, Brian Peck, the guy that raped Drake, was even a fucking fan of the Killer Clown. Sorry, and
John Wayne Gacy.
Yes, John Wayne Gacy.
Yo, that blew me away, bro. I was like, oh hell.
So if you a fan of some shit like that, and if y'all don't know who the Killer Clown is, look it up.
They were pen pals.
Yeah,
they was writing each other.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh hell no.
So Drake, obviously, his dad was his manager. Brian Peck was convincing or blackmailing his dad or Drake, to let go of his dad of him being his manager. His dad was, informing everyone since he was getting let go as a manager to not let Brian Peck near his son. Informed his mom once he went and moved in with her, and look what happened. Do you think was it mistakes that the mom made for not being, there with him 100%? Because if I have a son at that age, see, it's different because if my ex-husband or my, my baby daddy or whatnot, or my baby mama, let's just say, she tells me, don't let him get around our son because I see this and this happening. He's been doing this to other kids. But you're letting him pick your son up right after whatever to go do auditions, and he gonna stay over at his house. Like you should eventually. What you gonna think is gonna happen if you know?
I will say, and I'm gonna tread softly on what I'm about to say. Got the feminist movement. I'm sorry. Women, most times, not all the time, but a lot of times they tend to be a lot more naive than the man.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Oh, everything is just harmless. Oh, he's just here to help. It's not a big deal. Right. My son's a star. This is always what he wanted. And you know how mothers they are, especially when they got sons, they want to give their son everything they want to make them happy. Yeah. So they don't want to mess it up for them. Right. So sometimes they could be a little bit naive. She was obviously the naive one, and then look what happened. And versus the dad, he knew an alarm was going off in his head. Like I don't like this.
And it's crazy. 20 years later, bro, he still says that he cannot recover from that feeling.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because when Drake called him after he had got locked up, he called him and was like, "Yo, they finally got him from being molestation type shit." And then his dad was like, "I'm so glad it's not you." But Drake mentioned his dad is very emotional that he couldn't even tell his dad, and Drake couldn't even tell his whole full story on camera.
That's the part that made that part.
Like he couldn't even I don't want to go too into it because y'all got to go watch it. But he was saying he stood over one night on the couch where he usually sleeps, and he woke up to the guy molesting him.
Yeah,
and
that was tough to watch because, well, at least here, because seeing his dad break down like that, because
especially 20 years later, man. That's something you can't even get over.
I'm a father myself. You know what I'm saying? I got an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter.
Right.
So, that's your natural job, is to try to protect your children as much as you can.
Right.
But seeing the fact that he tried to protect his son and wasn't able to, that I can understand why that dude was breaking down. Right. It kills him because he had the chance to protect his son and he tried and he failed. So of course he's blaming himself. I'm not saying he should.
Right.
But me being a father,
you understand why?
Thinking, me trying to picture my son being in that situation, I try to shield it and I save him, and my baby mama is like, "No, let him do it. Let him do it."
Yeah.
It'll be so many emotions to that. So I understand where his father with the pain he feeling, bro. Like that's, you try to protect your child and you're not able to. It hurts.
It's crazy. Even 5 years. I mean, not 5 years. 20 years later, he's still saying that he can't recover from it. Mm. So, what else was going crazy on that?
Episode 4, the sentencing with the letters, and then
we covered all that.
All the Nickelodeon stars when they got older, like Lindsay Lohan, the Olsen twins, how they became on drugs.
Well, that's all trauma, though.
Yeah. Well, that all ties into the Hollywood stuff.
So let me ask y'all a question. Nickelodeon was it was in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it had anything to do with the Illuminati?
Well, we talked about
Damn.
we talked the conspiracy theories of the Illuminati, the elites, and how you how you venture into that world. It is kind of far fetched to just jump out the window and be like, yeah, Illuminati. But what you do got to understand about the Illuminati, what I understood about it is that all that stuff is accepted in that community. Child molestation, pornography, lesbianism, sodomy, all that stuff. All that stuff is accepted in there. All that is accepted in that community. So one would say that it was an affiliation, possibly. And I told you about the higher ups, the higher you are,
the more weird shit you got to do type shit. Yeah,
somehow you are affiliated with that community. So, like I said, just jumping completely out the window and be like, it's Illuminati. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't
know that
there's just
community
there's
is
just some
affiliated with all
people.
that. Yeah.
Some of the letters was saying that Drake was tempting him.
Yeah, no temptation. Yeah.
Do y'all
No, I don't believe that. No. Even that's no, because even if even if there was a homosexual kid I was working with and he was trying to like get up on me, I would have to. First of all, I'm not homosexual. Right. That's one. Two, he's a minor. Well, that should be number one, actually. Right. And that's just weird.
It's unprofessional. First of all, it ain't professional. You shouldn't be on that. Second of all,
even if sorry to interrupt you, even if he is like of age, that shit you got to be professional.
I think he was what? He was like 15.
He was 15.
No. Absolutely, you can miss me with that. No, yeah, okay. So this dude is in Hollywood. He made it.
Right.
He's a face. He's one of the faces of Nickelodeon. He got some money. You telling me, out of all the options, there was girls screaming his name. He knew how to play the guitar. He knew how to sing. There was women screaming his name. You telling me out of all the options you had, I want to go to this guy.
Right. Not even that. He had a girlfriend. Because he said he got a girlfriend and stay away from Dan. I mean, not Dan, Brian. And it got to the point where Brian was so obsessed with him that he was blowing up his phone while he was at his girlfriend's house. He didn't answer. Then he started calling his girlfriend's phone house, his home phone. And then the mom answered, gave it to Drake, and he was like, yo, where you at? He just said, I'm chilling here tonight. I don't want to go. Then the mom was the first one that found out. She kind of just got the hint of like,
you can't fool them.
And then, man. She was just like, oh, what's going on? He was like, oh, nothing is usual. And she was like, no. A 47-year-old man does not call no 15-year-old this many times.
Right.
And, she just kind of brung it up to the mom, brung it up to the police as well about that shit too. So
yeah, no, I don't, absolutely not. Because, like 15, you, what you call that? You trying to finesse the man.
Yeah.
Stop.
So after he served his 16 months, he
got hired
on Disney Channel and did the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now, do you think that
there's got to be another documentary of Disney Channel because there's a lot of shit that they got covered up as well too.
Now they could,
but they got shit to do with drugs.
Yeah, they can't even cover that up. I already knew something. They already knew something was up with Disney Channel, seeing how all them stars turned out.
Yeah,
like Nickelodeon, like I said, the Drake I would have never known that shit.
Yeah,
but Disney, I know it. Y'all got some shit to talk about.
Yeah, they got a lot of shit to cover. To uncover.
Orlando Brown alone, like what happened to this dude? Like, bro.
And that's what Raven covered it about.
That dude is gone, bro. He gone.
That
Raven's gay now, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it might have to do with some, shit that she went through, but
that's a give or take.
Yeah, but I think she mentioned about Orlando being on drugs, like while they were in the whole, that whole, production era about them doing that whole That's So Raven shit. So,
and once again, I got to reference the last podcast we did with conspiracy theories. It's either you take different paths when something traumatizing happened to you. You go different paths.
Yep.
You either turn to being gay or being attracted to the same sex, or you choose drugs to try to get that stuff out.
Or you do with the same shit that Drake did.
Right.
Like you just go, like how you say, just ripples. So you do something happen to you, then you think it's okay since it happened to you, you're gonna continue to do it. So
right. That's demons, bro. Like I said, the whole like drug, like it seems like the drugs is more prevalent than anything else because when you seeing them stars that just not the same no more.
Yeah.
I tell you why they do it. These rappers that drinking lean all the time, they want to be fucking intoxicated all the damn time because they trying to keep their mind off of that traumatizing shit that happened to them, and then they take it too far, and next thing you know, they looking like Amanda Bynes. She looked terrible.
She looked bad. She was very pretty
she
when she was young, bro.
Terrible, bro. And the Olsen twins, they look terrible too, though.
There's a lot of shit about. There's a lot of shit about the Full House, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Since all this shit coming out now.
That's not. Is that Nickelodeon?
Nah, I don't think that's.
Yeah, it's Nick at Night, but
that's still Nickelodeon though.
Man, all of them is Hollywood.
Yeah,
they don't matter.
There's a lot of stuff coming out now about these
Hollywood.
all kids shows, but I guess we can close out there. We got another podcast coming out this week. We got a couple more. Stay tuned. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you have not seen any of our old podcasts, look them down in the description. We got more shit coming. We got a lot of works behind the scenes, as I mentioned. If you now have been watching our podcast, subscribe, share. We are doing a giveaway. We have not came with an idea of doing a giveaway, but once we do, we will announce it. And we will try to do live on Instagram and Facebook to inform people about the videos and giveaways that we are doing. But like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget Drew's story, everybody. I will put down his name in the description for Facebook. Hit him up. He will be able to give you a price. He's got hats, beanies, shirts, whatever you need. Hit him up. We got a lot of more stuff coming. Drew story, everybody. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Too funny, too serious. We out.